Welcome back. Last time we completed the direct junk task to make an amulet of power and started grinding up the melee stats on the sand crabs. Fletched a yew shield and burned a yew log, unlocked Herblore to start putting experience lamps into it, and created a ton of foresters rations and acquired 3 out of 4 lumberjack outfit pieces to prepare for the woodcutting grind ahead. This time we're going to master woodcutting, which is going to be quite the grind. Rules for this chunk Tileman combination are in the description. Pause if you would like to reach the abridged version on the video here. Let's hop into the episode. Level 99 woodcutting takes a long time if you just click on a tree once and then AFK. So I decided I wanted to learn a more click intensive method to increase my experience per hour gain. To do that, I woodcut a waka canoe in Lumbridge and paddle my way over to Edgeville. This was also one of the chunk goals for the diary task. From here, I walked over to the portal to the Isle of Souls. I have no idea why this permanent portal is located here, or why the people of Gillinor don't just connect all sorts of places with such portals, but it's quite convenient. Either way, the trees I'm looking for are all the way up north from the Isle of Souls, so it's going to be a long walk. You know, a very, very long walk actually. I had no idea how you would 2-tick woodcut, so I did actually watch some guides, but I initially couldn't get it to work. After some help from the chunk chat, we solved the mystery. So it turns out you have to have a 2 or 3 tick attack weapon to auto-retaliate with, otherwise it doesn't work. And once I put my bow onto a rapid fire, which turned it from a 4-tick weapon into a 3-tick weapon, it worked. None of the guides mentioned that weapon thing, so that seems like a bit of an oversight. In short, I have a bow with no ammunition equipped, so I don't actually kill the birds attacking me. I aggro 2 birds that each alternate attacking me on a 4-tick cycle, so every other tick I get hit by them. I then activate auto-retaliate, which makes my character face the birds, trying to attack them with a bow and no ammunition. And then I just alternate clicking on the teak tree and the floor to woodcut way faster than you're supposed to. I later figured out that you can actually initiate the destroy dialogue on an item instead of having to click the floor, which made the entire thing a lot easier, since I would just always click into my inventory as my second click. I then positioned my camera in a way that when one tree is cut down, I could just click in the same spot again to just start cutting down the other tree. And that's what I did for a while. Well, probably only about like 20 to 30 minutes at a time, so I'm really not sure it was all that worth it coming out here for the teaks, but you know, it's a thought that counts sometimes. So now I had the knowledge and ability to actively train woodcutting whenever I wanted to. But my forest's rations are going to run out soon, so let's focus on some combat levels for a bit, because I had a plan. I usually have a plan. First, I wanted to improve my equipment to optimize my training, so I went to buy a ton of Chaos Runes at Aubrey's shop in Varrock, 7,500 to be exact. And then I hitched a ride over to Brimhaven to climb the local volcano in which we find the Tsar domain, the local volcano rock people. Down here they don't trade in regular GP, they have their own currency called Tokkul. That's why I bought the 7,500 Chaos Runes. I sell them here in the magic store and then head over to the weapon store and trade the Tokkul I earned for an amazing shield. The Toktzketzel. Or well, Obsidian Shield is easier to say. This offhand item provides us with a +5 strength bonus, which is a substantial boost in power. None of the obsidian weapons are better than the rune scimitar, and in order to get the obsidian armor I would have to defeat Jad first, which would be against the rules, since that's a boss. And after forgetting that I need level 60 defense to actually wield my new shiny shield, here's level 60 defense. I could now actually use it. A long while later, here's level 78 strength from AFKing at sand crabs. This would give you a max hit of 17 while on defensive stance. And then even later. Alrighty, and with these last few swings, we reach level 60 attack. Now it is all the way to defense. And I'm reasonably confident that this was actually worthwhile, because I've seen this number from just over 42,000 experience per hour climb up all the way to just well over 43,000 experience per hour. So I don't know what the optimal attack level is, but I think 60 is a good number to reach. Alrighty, so some fun statistics. I set my defense track here to the goal level of level 99, and hovering over this orb up here gives me an estimate on how long it's gonna take and how many sand crab kills. So this is going to still take over 280 hours of straight sand crab killing, which is still a lot less than defeating men and women in Lumbridge. But that's about a month of every day 10 hours of sitting at sand crabs. So this is just going to be happening in the background whenever, anytime basically. Occasionally while woodcutting, one of the forestry events would give me some useful seeds, so I decided I would just plant the limpwort as well as the toadflax seeds to empty my inventory space. Since these materials would eventually be useful for the herblore grind, I didn't want to just throw them away. The Hosidius farming patches I already had unlocked, and I also walked over to the Catherby farming spot for planting my other toadflax, as well as putting some pineapples into the compost bin to get super compost as fertilizer eventually. Next, I walked over to the Ardoin farming patch from Catherby to Camelot, and it's quite a long walk. But here I planted the other limpwort, and since I planned to use farming to help with my herblore grind eventually anyways, unlocking all of these locations to empty my inventory just kinda made sense. Now, back to woodcutting and solving the forested ration problem once and for all. Thanks to having trained up my melee stats in the background, I was now eligible to enter the Warriors Guild. The requirement is to have a combined strength and attack level of at least 130. In here we find Lidio, who runs the food shop. Cheese potatoes are UIM's best friend, and they are super cheap, heal for 16 HP, and are in an easy to reach location. Now, if we ignore that, I completely forgot the fact that only fish and meat can be combined with leaves to create forest's ration, and only by pure coincidence this store also happens to sell base, I think my plan worked out fantastic. I used up all of my magic leaves, yew leaves, and maple leaves to create over 22,500 forest's rations. And if I needed more, I could just come back here. I also got 2 cooking levels along the way, which past me didn't bother recording. Background defense grind status report, 10% complete. A bunch of clips of me rambling about the bot infestation, and one where I realized that getting clues off of this island would cost me 10,000 coins each. Here's 20% of the defense grind done. The very next clip is 30%. Yeah, I guess I was AFK a lot. And then my next clip is 5 days later, me woodcutting and having over 50% of my defense grind done, and I have no clips in between. But it was for a good reason. At this stage I completed my theory crafting on how I was going to tackle the remaining chunk objectives, mainly herblore. We'll get into that monster of a grind in the next episode. For now, all you need to know is that I did not want to level up my defense any higher, because I would need the experience to help with herblore. So it'll stay at level 92 for quite a long time from here on out. I have a frog token. I'll take a lamp. Oh. Alrighty, I was wondering, because I didn't know whether you could actually get a lamp. All of them, thank you. I didn't know whether you could get a lamp if you have never gotten the prince or princess outfit. And it turns out you can. So this means we have a bit more herblore experience. This is level 14. This might be another level right away. There we go, level 15 herblore already, without having to do much of anything. Which is a nice head start, but it's gonna take a lot more than this too still. Alright, I feel like doing some AFK woodcutting because, well, I don't have too much time. And I want to get the woodcutting to 99 before defense, but defense is way ahead now. Either way, I wanted to cut down some yew trees so I would get money through fletching. And I was kind of looking which ones are the most, or the closest yew trees to a general store. And I found two locations. This one here in Remington. The general store is right here, the used are right over here, which is quite decent, which is also going to be what I'll be using. The other one I've seen is actually all the way over in Courant, in the Shazian area. There are two U3s right here, and the general store is over there. Now, this might be closer. I actually didn't go and check it out, but I figured it makes more sense to just unlock these here because I already have a path here. I'm going to click to U3, and my dude is just going to walk wherever he is going to walk. And I will be just fletching and selling bows right here for the foreseeable future. It is pretty slow woodcutting experience, but I can AFK for longer because it takes longer to cut these down. And once I will be able to fletch magic short bows, I think, if I even get to that point, I will be looking for magic trees, which I believe a good location for magic trees fletching would be over in Courant as well. Specifically Hosidius, near the Eric's Talisman teleport here, and there's the general store there. I don't know if this is the closest, but that's the first one that kind of came to mind, especially one that is not particularly far from my path. And so I got to fletching and woodcutting the yew trees. Something I haven't touched upon until now. What happens to the resources gathered and collected while I'm working on a chunk task outside of the borders? Because I no longer have a fletching requirement. Why am I still fletching outside the chunk borders? And to be completely transparent with you, I didn't even think about that when I was doing the woodcutting grind to 99 around here. I only just now started thinking about this concept when I'm actually creating this video right here. It just felt natural to me that I wouldn't just drop the logs on the floor after chopping them, but instead turn them into more resources for the future. So here's my simple answer to this. Any resources gathered while directly working on a chunk task, in this case woodcutting, I can do whatever I want with it. This also aligns nicely with how I planned on tackling the massive Herblore grind later down the road. We reach level 90 woodcutting. We can now chop redwood trees. This is quite a nice milestone to get, because now I can finally go and start working towards the last piece of lumberjack equipment for the 2.5% experience bonus. Alrighty, here we are at the forester's shop. Our friend here is going to eventually give us the lumberjack top. And for this one we needed 120 redwood logs. So that means I will have to somehow ship them over here. If you don't know where they are, they basically can only be gathered in two locations. Both of them are over in Courant here. And well, this is already in the Woodcutting Guild right here. So from the Woodcutting Guild I will just want to go furthest west. And there's these two bigger redwood trees require level 90 woodcutting. The only other theoretical option, which I'm not going to be able to do, would be all the way over here in the Farming Guild, where you can plant your own redwood tree and then woodcut it. Which, there's not really much of a point to doing that, because in the Woodcutting Guild you get an invisible boost to woodcutting, so you are more likely to get more logs, etc. Either way, this means, in order to get 120 logs over here, or, well, to our friendly forester, I'll have to walk all the way over here, cut however many logs I can carry, and then come back. And, well, let's just see over there. Alrighty, and here we are. Woodcutting Guild? Let's head over to the west. Over to the redwood trees. Before that, however, I will be going over to this shrine. The God Egg Shrine, whatever you want to call it. And I hope that this doesn't cost me too many additional tiles. It's gonna be okay, I think. Oh wow, you go all the way through there? Jeez. Either way, use a bird's nest on this thing, and you have a rare chance. Apparently that's some prayer experience. I forgot about that part. So you always get a seed nest out of it, which more oranges for the future. That's very nice. And you can get a rare chance for one of the evil chicken outfit pieces, which, you know, That's nice. Either way, the redwood trees are over there. Let's just move on. Alright, and what I'll be doing is I'm just going to cut some redwood logs, wait until my home teleport is ready, and probably drop the other redwood logs in between, and that's all I'm gonna do. I'm supposed to probably try to find a world where there's nobody here, but chances are pretty high I'm not gonna find... Oh, yeah, there's somebody else. You know what, over here is fine. Invest a few tails, I'm not bothering anybody. Alright, and that's all. This is how we're gonna get redwood logs. Eventually, it's just gonna be really slow, honestly. And we have arrived. This is the last trip. Store all logs. Yes, I know. Grab the logs out of my bag. Store all logs. Yes, I know. And I am pretty sure I have a few more extra redwood logs than well, more than I need. And with this, we should have all the necessary redwood logs stored in the log storage. Check storage. We have use, magics, redwood. With this, we need 60 use, 120 magic logs, 120 redwood logs. Buy the lumberjack top, and here we are. We now have the full lumberjack outfit. Kind of like, you know, before, there is no reason for me to equip it, as long as I don't have anything equipped that gives me any stats. So the camo equipment as well as the mine boots, all of these are perfectly fine to be in, well, equipped while I'm woodcutting, and this gives me a 2.5% boost to my woodcutting experience. Effectively, saving me quite a lot of experience in the long run. So we put this into the backpack, and there's nothing stopping me from just going straight for 98 woodcutting, aside from me, well, wanting to AFK. And let me be frank, the redwoods were actually quite nice. Just sitting over there, clicking once every 5 or so minutes. It was pretty comfy while I was doing other stuff, and I was not really losing much, but kind of like before, I'm just gonna go back to the use for now and do a bit of fletching, get a bunch of money, because I anticipate that I will need a lot of money in the long run. So, woodcutting. I have no idea where level 91 went, but here it is. And with just one more log cut, we reach 92 woodcutting. This is halfway experience-wise to level 99. Don't have anything else to say, so just gonna continue woodcutting. AFKing woodcutting on the side, still at the big redwood tree, and 93. Each individual level just feels like a massive step forward, because if I'm honest, it is kind of demoralizing knowing that 92 woodcutting is halfway, but each individual level is consequently so much of a larger step towards the 99. Oh, trucking on. Wait, what? Hold up. It's Carl Deek. Gonna check out your YouTube series. Good luck, fella. Thank you. I have no idea what to say, but I don't know what to say, but I hope you have an excellent day. Thank you so much. And here we have woodcutting level 94. 5 levels to go. I AFK'd so hard, I don't know when this happened, it was a while ago. Alrighty, I've been chopping down a lot of use, fletching, and the results so far are 4 fletching levels, 4.5 really, as well as a decent amount of more money because I'm selling them. I got over 2,200 yew leaves, which I now backturn into all the forest's rations because I used them all up. And that's kind of a benefit of chopping the yews, because the tree leaves are actually pretty efficient for that. Wait, hold up, I just spawned my own forestry event and it tells me because you were not cutting or chopping near the event when it started, you aren't eligible. I started the event. What the heck, game? I assume there's some like weirdness going on because I'm doing the 2-tick method where every other tick I'm just not jumping, and consequently the game was just assuming that I wasn't jumping a tree or not at certain intervals or times. I don't know. Either way, that's bizarre. That's the first time that happened. 95 woodcutting. As mentioned before, each level just feels like a journey by itself. "96 woodcutting, just 3 levels remain." Also, I realized that redwood trees do not actually drop me any seed nests, so I decided to just go back to other trees for a while. Somewhere along the way, in one of the more recent updates, they seemingly patched the maze minigame so you can actually see your tiles. Like previously they were being unlocked, but they didn't show up, and it seemed like every time I was doing the maze minigame I was losing more tiles. Actually, right now I'm wondering whether it's just a different maze minigame every single time I'm doing this. Either way, this was an easy path. Apparently I've already done that one. So I'm still woodcutting over here, and this bush patch is, you know, right here. So I was kind of thinking it would be nice if I could use this bush patch, plant something, and then occasionally harvest something for Herblore later. And one of the forestry events actually just gave me some whiteberry seeds. Now the thing is, whiteberry seeds are level 59 farming requirement, but I'm almost at level 56. So if I were to make myself a garden pie, which I'm pretty sure I can make, I can boost +3, get my remaining levels, and actually plant a whiteberry bush here. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to check on my plants, and then we'll see what happens. So we need a tomato for the garden pie, which we can get over here in Draenor village in Aggie's house. Grab it from the table. Cabbages from the field south of Falador. A level from checking my fruit trees. For level 56 farming. A pie shell from the shop over here in Hosidius, as well as flour. Onions from upstairs of the general store in Lumbridge on the table. And then we combine all of these things together in the Hosidius kitchen. First of all, we need a container with some water. Use the water on the pot of flour to make pastry dough. Then use the pastry dough on the pie dishes to make a pie shell. Then we use the tomato on the pie shell. Then we use the onion, I think, next on that pie shell. Then we use the cabbages, and we have a raw garden pie. And then we hope we don't burn all of these, because that would be really awkward. 1 cooked, 2 cooked, and all 3 got cooked successfully. Nice. Now, I have the necessary levels to go ahead and start planting these whiteberry seeds. And I'm gonna begin over here in the Champions Guild, where we have this bush pack. Rig the patch, eat the garden pie, and plant the whiteberry seeds. And then we hope that they are going to grow successfully. I might occasionally check on these because it's going to be rather difficult to get any more whiteberry seeds, just to make sure they are not diseased. Yeah, that's going to be what I'll be doing here at the Champions Guild, as well as over in Drimmington at the bush patch, and I honestly haven't really checked as to whether there's any other locations for bush patches that are easily accessible, but these are the two that I'm going to be occasionally harvesting for white berries, which is going to be ingredients for Herblore eventually, where we can use those to make the horrible defense potion out of runner weeds, and later on super defense potions out of quarantine. So this next clip is from when I was streaming Factorio. It's pretty comfy over there on Twitch, come and visit us. There's one item that require... No, sorry. Real quick. This is my recording scene. I just got the beaver. What the heck? Sorry, back to other gameplay. Sorry, completely off topic. Wow, that's... For anybody who may not know, that is stupendously rare to get that pet. And it's just randomly gained when you cut wood. There's like a 36% chance when you go in old school RuneScape from level 1 to 99 to get a beaver pet along the way. So it is not in your favor. Or as some people would say, you haven't even reached the drop rate yet. So yeah, kinda wild to get a beaver. It was significantly more likely that I would not get it than I would get it on the way to level 99 woodcutting, but hey, it's nice to have a little bit of company. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Approximately 32,768, depending on his woodcutting level. Wait, a 16-bit signed integer. Ha! If he chucks one more, he's in the negatives. He can't do that. Sorry. Alright, let me level with you, just between you and me. When I got Benny the Beaver during my woodcutting grind, I didn't want to lose him. Some people can sing you a song of how rare this pet can be. And as an ultimate Iron Man, dying to store your items on the ground for an hour is common practice and one of the few ways you can get an empty inventory. But when you die with a pet following you or in your inventory, it is lost. Now, you could reclaim your pet, but it is both very expensive and I would consider it to be part of the Ardoin chunks. I already had some plans for depth storage for the Herblore grind later down the road, and this kind of threw a wrench into that plan. So, what do I do? The only option I thought I had was building a menagerie in my playground house. That way Benny could roam around inside the house without any danger, which seems great. I have a construction requirement to build and fill the stash unit in my chunk, so training construction is already part of my objectives. But it's quite a leap to go from level 12 to level 37 construction. Now, you could just say, Yaga, just build your dang menagerie, people are probably fine with it. It's your series and, well, you would probably be right. But it didn't quite sit right with me. I wanted to have a better reason to be required to train construction for a chunk goal. The beaver pet is not specifically part of my chunk, you could get it from anywhere, and after a bit of thinking, I think I figured it out. There is in fact something that is specific to my chunk, and could be a construction requirement aside from the stash unit. Here, let me show you. The cape on this guy's back that I'm working towards right now. At level 54 construction, I can build a cape rack in my player-owned house, and as the name would suggest, it allows me to store all sorts of capes. This seemed like a pretty elegant way to go about it. I would figure out a way to train construction and eventually be able to put Benny into the menagerie on the way to the cape rack and be able to store my capes. I actually was quite satisfied with that solution. But here, let me give you a brief glimpse into my future. A future I wouldn't figure out for a while here. The oak cape rack. Store all capes, except capes of accomplishment. What's a cape of accomplishment, you may wonder? Well, every single skill cape. as well as the music, achievement diary, quest and max cape. Yeah, so if I want to store my woodcutting or defense capes, I need at least level 63 construction. But here's the kicker. To store both of my 99 capes, I will need level 72 construction. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Anyways, back to woodcutting. Here's level 99. Not for me though. It is for Lejunk Me. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Congratulations, even though this is now literally months later. They recently updated the wiki page for repairing broken struts in the Motherlode mine in order to level up smithing to level 99 because, you know, that's the grind they did, which is pretty crazy honestly. And as for myself, about 4 hours later, there it is, level 98, just one more level to go. Today, 2 other people in the Chunk clan chat actually maxed out their woodcutting to 99, so that's additional motivation. And this next clip here, I'm mostly showing you just to demonstrate on how messy it gets when I'm woodcutting and try to do forestry events with my tiles. They are just all over the place. Well, I just got a second petal garland. This thing is a 1 in 50 chance from this event, and apparently you don't even have to complete the event fully. Just doing a few steps is sufficient. That's quite interesting. I was actually kind of hoping for a fox whistle or I think the golden pheasant egg or something like that to metamorphize my beaver just in case I get other stuff, but oh well. Alrighty, and here we go. This is going to be level 80 fletching. 72 was the chunk requirement, but it just kind of feels bad whenever I'm cutting logs and then just drop them on the floor rather than fletching them or doing anything else with them. So level 80 fletching is actually a really nice place to stop at because I can now make magic short bows for myself. And magic short bows are actually really good since they are one of the most accessible and strong ranged weapons. Well, once I would be able to use them, that is. Sometimes it might be kind of difficult to tell whether I'm doing a voiceover in the clip or whether it is original audio. Halfway through this video I decided that it would be kind of nice to just have a visual cue, so whenever you see the game slightly zoomed in with a border like this is when I'm doing voiceover. I initially tried to go back and edit all the other parts in order to reflect that too, but it got really messy real quick, so I'm just gonna do that properly from here on out and in future videos. Sorry, I'm already taking too long to edit this, I'm not going back for more. Oh, also, I got a ton of money out of it. Also, if you think I'm entirely done with fletching, well, not quite. My plan is to actually cut down these magic trees here and then go ahead and sell them in the general store somewhere over here. You know, the most annoying part when coming up with new ideas and things to do is when it's one of those things that I should have been doing a while ago, because I've been cutting these magic trees since quite a while now for additional fletching experience, and I'm basically done in like a few hours for 99 woodcutting. There's an herb patch right there. I have irid seeds. I'm going to use irid leaves. I should have been farming these hours ago. In this next clip, unfortunately I failed to separate the game audio from my microphone audio, so I can't adjust this volume between each other. I hope it's still understandable, and I think it is reasonable for me to leave it in with the original commentary as it is. The music I decided to activate because I've actually never reached a level 99 in this game while the music was active, so kinda wanted to hear what happens. And here we are, at the end of the woodcutting grind. I'm almost sad that it's over. Well, soon over really. Because it was such a nice and relaxing thing to just play on the side. I did most of my grind towards 99 in the end at the yew trees to get fletching up, as well as the magic trees later to get fletching up even a little bit higher. And it turns out I would actually be like 3 magic logs short of being able to get another fletching level. So I'm just gonna get this afterwards. Either way, this is going to be the second of the 4 major chunk goals complete. The first one was crafting and enchanting a diamond amulet, which, you know, took a while, but the woodcutting grind by far took a lot longer. The next 2 big grinds are going to be 99 defense, that's probably the biggest one remaining. Although, maybe I'm underestimating how long it's going to take to get to level 70 Herblore. I plan on using the defense training to get seeds, as well as maybe directly herbs, and farm while I'm getting my defenses up to 99. Probably on Moss Giants, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing. Either way. And here we are, level 99 woodcutting. I've never had 99 woodcutting on any account, this is the first time. I think my regular iron has like 91 or 92 woodcutting. So that's quite nice. It's also the first 99 on this account. And we can talk to this friend here. Yes, please, I'm interested in the skill cape for woodcutting. And it cost me 99,000 coins. No problem. Here we are. 99 woodcutting has been achieved, and as is tradition, there is an emote associated with this cape. Where we just chop, chop, chop. More trees. The perk of the 99 woodcutting skill cape is I think it doubles the chance of receiving a bird's nest. And aside from that, actually really not sure. Either way. We got a little friend along the way, and I think that's pretty neat. And just a short while later, we get to level 81 fletching. We can now make rune darts apparently. Basically, this is going to be the last fletching level for a really, really long time. Alrighty. Next, I'm gonna do 2 things. First, from the forester shop here, we're gonna buy ourselves a cape pouch. Only costs 2,500 anima bark. And, well, let's put it this way, I have over 88,000 anima bark still remaining, and I expand my forester's backpack. It can now hold my woodcutting cape and also grants me the benefit of the woodcutting cape, and I can now just store that in there. The hood as well? No, the hood you just put on the ground. Alright, that's 1 out of 2. I can now wear the backpack again. I get more bird's nest if I go back to woodcutting for some reason. And there's one more thing. Alright, this wasn't quite what I was talking about. It's gonna be another thing. But it does make sense for me to go ahead and start farming along the way. So, specifically, we're beginning the level 70 Herblore grind. Which means I should be getting all of my herbs that I've planted a long time ago. Toad flax here. And then we'll be planting the irit seeds first, I think. There's an argument to be made that I should be planting the other seeds first, because irit is going to be one of my, if not the best herb to plant in the long run. Because the secondary, the Eyes of Newt, are super easy to acquire. And the other thing I meant to do is here. We're gonna buy another rune pickaxe, because I plan on going back to star mining, because I can trade that Stardust for soft clay packs, which I will be using to get up to 42 construction. Which, we already have 7 construction. Actually, maybe I kind of forgot about the wrap-up of the 99 woodcutting part there. We got level 7 construction from literally just repairing birdhouses, which it would have probably been a higher level than this if I realized that I can get construction experience earlier and didn't buy the house like only halfway through. Almost level 11 hunter purely from the fox event from the forestry area. We got a lot of farming experience along the way as well from various events, although it's kind of difficult to track how much exactly it would be. And I thieved exactly 1 man or woman, and 31 thieving from the pheasant event is what we got at the end, so pretty sizable amount of thieving experience. Also, after I realized that I could just do the Draenor rooftop agility course, I stopped lamping agility, and I started lamping Herblore as soon as the Druidic Ritual quest was complete, and we got all the way up to level 22 already. So that's a nice head start, because especially in the early stages of Herblore, it would be a little bit awkward to try and get levels, but if I just keep lamping this until we reach, I think 26 Herblore it is, in order to make energy potions with Haralander, I think that's gonna be a good milestone to reach. Either way, shooting star mining. Also, one more thing to add. Apparently I started the woodcutting grind on the use for fletching at 1,143,000 coins. And considering I spend about 100,000 coins for the woodcutting cape, that is almost 1 million coin gained from just fletching yew-bows and selling them, and then later fletching magic bows and selling them. So that is really substantial. Could have gotten the woodcutting to 99 much sooner, but I think especially getting to fletching level 80 is future-proofing my account much better, because this will allow me to make my own magic short bow, which is a fantastic weapon. Alrighty, I did a bunch of star mining, and we have over 7,000 stardust. I only needed 6,900 for the construction goal, but, well, I AFK'd a bit too hard. So I'm going to go ahead and buy these soft clay packs. Each one of these contains 100 soft clay, which I will be able to use in the house for construction experience. But it's going to be, let's put it this way, a pretty long grind, because that's a lot of soft clay I will have to use up for, I think, 10 experience each soft clay. And that's gonna take a while. That's the short version. I don't need that thing anymore. Yes, put the stardust down just in front of him. Maybe he picks it up. I don't know. Probably not. And I need to empty my inventory, which means I think it is time to finally say goodbye to my trusty axe, because I've been lugging that thing around since literal months now, as well as the log basket. I don't know if you can sell the log basket back to the forestry store, but if you can, I will do that. And I'm also going to get rid of the chronicle and the pickaxe, so, well, see you at the forestry shop. Alrighty, friendly forester. Greetings. Can I sell? No offer. Can I sell the Fruin felling axe? Unfortunately, no. A log basket? No. Alrighty. None of these I can sell, so this means the log basket I will have to destroy, and I'm pretty sure I need to find out whatever plugin is hiding the destroy option in this thing to be able to do so. Because, well, I mean, it's kinda neat, but simultaneously it's gonna use up an inventory space that I can't use right now. And I'm just gonna sell the felling axe to a general store. And I'm also gonna teleport to Varrock, because I need a saw in order to do my construction. Plus, I will want to eventually get oak planks as well in order to, well, build stuff in my house. So I will need to get to the sawmill up here. Wait, there's the sawmill. And the sawmill is also the place where I'm gonna get a saw in order to do some construction. So I'll meet you over there. Alright, and here we are. I need to get to the sawmill over here, so I'm just gonna pick the closest path and start walking, spending tiles along the way as usual. Okie dokie, and here we are at the sawmill operator. He does have a saw for sale, which I will need for my construction. And he also sells bronze nails, iron nails, and steel nails, which I'm not sure if I need those in order to make the oak equipment, but that's that. Now it is time to say goodbye to my other items. Alright, I hope I can sell this here. Rune pickaxe, don't need any more. The rune felling axe he buys for 5,120 coins. Let me put it this way, that thing was worth way more than that. Unfortunately he does not buy the log basket, so I can't do anything with it. We will destroy the chronicle, we can just buy it again later. And now to figure out how the heck I can destroy that log basket. Give me a second. Alright, found it. It's called Item Charges Improved. And it effectively has a hide destroy menu entries hidden. So now I can destroy the log basket. It has served me well, but I have plenty of animal bark to be able to buy one again when I need it. And that's that. I just need a hammer, which we can buy from here. And we're going to do some construction. So the way I'm going to do the construction is over in Remington, basically where I was cutting down many yew trees. There's also the house portal, so I'm gonna just head over there, be right back. And here we are in Remington. So, the way this is going to work is we have this friend over here called Files, and if we use noted items on him, he will exchange all of the noted items to, well, as many as we can carry, to unnoted items, so we can actually use them. And here is the house portal. Contrary to what it make you believe, you can actually enter the house portal from the side here. And home sweet home. Welcome to your house. Now, it doesn't look like much, and really it is not much, because there's literally just one room in here, but funnily enough, that's literally all I need. So first of all, we are going to have always doors open. I'm going to go into building mode, or actually default build mode when entering the house, and go into building mode. Building mode? Oh. You should pick up your follower. Oh! Buddy! And there we are. So, what we want to do is we want to build this clay fireplace. I'm going to check the house thingy here. We're going to set it to the viewer, and we're going to rotate this room here once, which will allow the fireplace to be slightly closer to where I am, which is going to save me a bunch of minutes over the course of this. We're going to build the fireplace. I don't know why it is not using my tiles inside this room. It should. I'm gonna build the fireplace. It's gonna give me 30 experience. Then we're going to swap left click to remove the fireplace, which I apparently have to stand in front of. Yes, remove it. Then left click build. Just hold down one, I guess, and then just spam. I probably have to remove my keybind rebinding in order for that to work. But yeah, this is going to be my entire training method here. Building this fireplace over and over again. I'm now level 8 construction. This is going to take a long time to use up, but it's going to be nice and relaxed. Also, turns out our little beaver friend did not matter, because we would need 2 additional inventory spots to be able to pick up everything. Alrighty, I'm gonna be going. Also, turns out I'm a dingus and I forgot to activate Tileman mode. That's why it wasn't drawing the tiles inside. That's all. Oh, I could have noticed it when we didn't get tiles unlocked from files. Turns out in build mode it still doesn't actually use up tiles inside the house. I figured there would be some weirdness, but oh well. So yeah, it turns out the Tileman mode plugin just doesn't work in your house. You have to manually unlock each individual Tileman tile. For some reason I didn't try that in this case, but I will do that later. Held down the 1 button, clicked on the fireplace, clicked on the fireplace again to remove it, and held down the 1 button the entire time. Until I have only 1 clay remaining in the inventory, which is not enough to build another fireplace. I'll leave the fireplace standing here. Then I click on the soft clay noted, hold down the 3 button to immediately unnote from files here. Then we click back on the portal, which is going to allow me to re-enter. Click on the fireplace, and I specifically don't remove it after I built it the last time, because my character will automatically walk here in front of it in order to remove it. Funnily enough, I could build it from over here, but in order to remove it, my character has to move in front, so it makes more sense to not tear it down until I re-enter the house, so my character already stands in the correct place. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few hours. I have absolutely no idea how long that's gonna take, but probably a while. Also, I like to move around my inventory, so it is closer to where I need it to be. And since the soft clay pack is in the top left corner and files is always around here, it's much shorter of a distance to click on him. I've also considered moving the house, like rotating that somehow to make it so everything is in the top left, but that's not gonna work anyways because I have to walk to the house portal. Either way, that's all. It's just gonna be clay fireplace, clay fireplace, clay fireplace. Level 42 construction. I can now build a costume room. This was the entire goal of my construction grind, so I will be able to put stuff away, which I feel like is very important for a UIM, and well, that's actually everything done in one day. Did a bunch of star mining, and then did actually the entire grind here as well. If I were to be focused on the grind here exclusively, it would probably average about 13,000 experience per hour, so it's not the worst grind I've done, looking at the bronze bar marathon, but simultaneously it is not a particularly efficient one either. But I was able to do this with just, well, very few inventory slots invested. Also, another thing I did realize while doing this is that this is actually literally the closest unnoting spot to a general store outside of the Piscatoris area. Piscatoris is literally the same guy that unnotes and is the general store. Here is like just a few steps apart. It does cost you 5 coins every time you unnote. Well, each individual item to unnote costs you 5 coins, so that might be consideration. But yeah, it's actually pretty close and potentially worthwhile in the future for some reason, I suppose. You have no idea. I'm just gonna manually unlock these. Alright, I'm actually manually unlocking these tiles that I've been using to do construction. Actually, I walk through here to get here, and then I walk here. Yeah, okay, these are the tiles unlocked. Alrighty, I got a list of all the things I will need, and it's going to be a bit awkward to get everything, especially as an Ultimate Ironman where, you know, I don't have good methods of transportation, but we'll get there. First of all, I'm gonna get my Chronicle back from Diango here. Should still have its charges available, which is very convenient. Can just destroy it and rebuy it. Still charges in there, very nice. And then I'm actually gonna do something a little bit unusual. I'm not sure it's that unusual, but something I've actually been thinking about since a while, because in the forestry shop there are these sawmill vouchers I can buy for 150 anima bark for 10 pieces. What these do is effectively, if these things are in my inventory, I will get double the planks for the same amount of logs and money I pay. So I can actually save a bit of money. it's not gonna be a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but what else am I gonna do with 88,000 anima bark in the long run? So I will need 26 planks total, so I actually just grab one set of these vouchers. It's also going to be the first time I'm actually going to be using these myself. So then I will need some oak logs. Actually, I also need regular logs. The realization when I actually don't have an axe in my inventory for once. But you can actually just take a bronze axe here, which is going to be sufficient for my purposes. I'm just going to give you the abridged version of my construction endeavors here. I cut a bunch of logs, ran over to the sawmill to make some planks and buy some nails, home teleported to Lumbridge and walked all the way over to the Remington house portal, complained about the long walk at least 3 different times across all my clips in a questionable attempt to put in some humor, built a menagerie for Benny the Weaver, constructed an oak house for him and put him inside his new home. Then I briefly lamented that I won't be able to put a pet fish inside here anytime soon, added a costume room to store stuff and a kitchen to cook stuff. Painstakingly unlocked each individual Tileman tile manually because it doesn't properly work inside the player-owned house, built an oak wardrobe and stored my forestry backpack inside. Then I went to mine some clay near the Champions Guild, added some water to make soft clay out of it, so I could build the wooden shelves 3. Yes, I could have just saved some soft clay from my construction grind earlier. No, I wasn't smart enough to actually do that. Then I headed over to the Alcarid mine to get some iron ore and coal, smelted all of it into steel bars and built a fancy range. Another trip to build a water pump and drain, and the realization that I should add a workshop so I can get the tools from inside my house. I built a tool store 1 and tool store 2, which magically get transported to the other side of the room, a quick rotation of the room later, and now I could get a hammer and a saw, meaning I could bring 2 more construction items in one trip. A full inventory of oak planks as well as a 100% handmade wool rope later, say hello little beaver buddy, and build an oak scratching post. An oak larder, grab some milk and tea from the freshly constructed but magically fully stocked larder, grab a kettle, teapot and a cup from the shelves and made some tea. Then we fill the kettle with water. Okay, actually didn't need the thing here. Then I put the kettle on the range. It boils. After a short time, then we put the tea into the teapot, then we put the kettle with the hot water into the pot of tea, and now we can pour that into the cup of tea and put some milk in it because I like to drink my tea with milk. It's entirely optional, you don't need to put the milk in it. It still will give you the +2 boost, and then I can go ahead and drink the tea, which gives me a +2 construction boost. I can make the costume box. And there it is. I can finally take off my camo equipment and put it in here. Now the thing is, I believe I can only store 2 items. Let me actually real quick. Yes, I can only store 2 types of costumes in this. So it would be reasonably wise of me to store 2 of the costumes that require more inventory spaces if I want to keep them. So for example, I should keep the camo outfit equipped. So I guess I'm gonna still be rocking that. And put like beekeeper and zombie outfit or mime outfit into here. I mean, have beekeeper boots and mime boots, so I guess we're just not grabbing the zombie stuff. But the higher level... Oh yeah, right. I actually forgot about this part. As an ultimate Iron Man, if you store something in the deposit box, you cannot take it out until you have the full set. So this means me putting the mime costume in here means that's in there now. I cannot take it out until I get the full costume. So this means the mime costume is now locked in to be taken, and I'm going to be also taking the beekeeper Should I? Actually, I shouldn't use the beekeeper, should I? Because the beekeeper gives me flax once all the stuff is complete. I'd rather have experience lamp, so I should be waiting for the zombie stuff instead. Yeah. Guess I'm gonna just wear the beekeeper boots, because why the heck not? Anyway, a whole lot of information, but I still have some oak planks left over. Let's see. I believe one of the things I wanted to make is a pet feeder, and that's where I need the other bucket of milk from. So our little beaver has something to drink. Entirely unnecessary. The only function this thing serves is actually when you have like a little kitten as a pet following you. That kitten normally requires attention, which I think the scratching post is delivering on the attention, as well as food, which the feeder provides the food for the kitten if you have it. So for the purpose of having a beaver, technically speaking, entirely unnecessary, but you know, it's just kind of nice to give them a little bit of something. So that's that, and I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade the tool store to tool store 3, which means I will be able to get, there it is, a glass blowing pipe, needle, and an apron whenever I need one. Don't know when I will need these things, but that's what I can get now. And I think this was my entire construction adventure for now. And I think that's where we'll leave it for today. In the previous episode, we prepared for the 300+ hour grind. This woodcutting and fletching grind was not the big run. No, this was the easy part. The specter of the big Herblore grind is looming around the corner, and we'll tackle it next time. It'll be my biggest journey yet. Here are the stats before and after this episode. And thank you so much for watching, listening, and for lurking. I hope you enjoyed your stay, and if you made it this far, you're amazing. If you could do the YouTube things like comment or throw some thumbs into whichever direction you deem appropriate, I would be grateful. I hope you have a nice day. Take care.